Thank you for turning this on. Cowboy Jim here, up in greater Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada. And I mentioned in the last couple of videos that my grandson and I took in Chris Stapleton and enjoyed some tremendous country, a bit rocky, but it was still country, and enjoyed myself so much. There was a lady there who was waiting tables, and she had an interesting accent that I, I pay attention to a lot more than people notice sometimes. Um, and I asked her, I said, what's that accent? And she said, it's Ukrainian. And I, uh, I just came unglued for a little short while, and because I I hold politicians in such contempt, and I realize one country this year, uh, perhaps another country next year. Uh, Russia actually is quibbling with we Canadians about the North. And the one thing that you notice, um, there are politicians around the world who seem to want us to be at war with someone, anyone it seems. And there are good causes out there. The Ukrainian people, to support the Ukrainian people is pray for them, whatever floats your boat. Um, but I'm not saying we could be next, but there are crazy people in leadership around the world, and they have agendas. And our nearest ally, they don't even have a leader. Joe Biden, the poor guy, is ineffective. And it's a few more years until Donald Trump can get back into power. And I pray that he does. I truly do. I watched today on the news about um, what we used to call Infolac and baby's milk. And we have, I have been involved with feeding a little stud colt that his mother abandoned him. And well, she would have tried to kill him. And she didn't like, well, she didn't like us at all. And that's a big mare that kicked me. She particularly, I don't even think she disliked me. She was ambivalent to me. I was there, and she thought maybe a little bit of time in ICU might be well advised for a short holiday for me. But anyways, I watched Joe Biden down there, and I have detailed, delineated, I think fairly, well, not eloquently, but clearly, the things that he has done, almost to the point of it being intentional, like intentionally taking one side of uh, the scientific community um, and and running with it, running roughshod over people's freedoms, and we we have certain freedoms left. But it seems to me almost as though, oh, and I suppose some idiot to call this a conspiracy theory, but it seems to me that um, our government, particularly the government in the United States of America, want to intimidate us, citizenry, um, to cause us to acquiesce, to cause us to be psychologically amenable for someone else in authority in the government to tell us when and what to do. Most Canadians, as polite as we are, we would be more inclined to tell them what to do and how to go about it and how often they should do that. And but they are short of milk, babies' milk in the States. 5 months ago, that one factory whistleblower noted the safety concerns that were taking place at that factory, and the U.S. government moved in and shut it down, and I suppose, forgot to tell Joe Biden that they were shutting down the one and only factory producing a facsimile of mother's milk. Um, that that factory supplied 40% of of Infalac type. They have different names for it now. Geez, when my boys were babies, well, the oldest one came out at 10 pounds 2 ounces, and the second boy is 8'6". I mean, they were just about talking. You want to go out and play, Dad? Or something like that. I mean, they're big kids, and so just for the sake of my dear poor wife back then, oh my goodness. Anyways, it wasn't my choice. It wasn't my body. It was hers, and I don't tell people what to do. I don't argue with people either. I refuse, and I'm kind of humbly proud of that, actually. But anyways, so with the full knowledge that what Joe Biden didn't do in terms of getting that factory up and running, uh, it took 5 months of being short of the virtually, um, there is almost no milk for newborn babies in the States. And Biden is blaming everyone except taking responsibility for his own actions. And I find that to be so contrary. I don't care who says what against me, what it is. I care, of course I care, but I will never not respond correctly, because the first thing I want to know is, hey, what if it is my fault? What if the stupidity that we're going through right now is in essence my fault? And so I check myself out first, and then if there's some question, then I'll look at others, but me first. And it's not because of selfishness, but it is because I care. I care, and I, I I want to be responsible. So Joe Biden has effectively ruined the economy in the states completely, from baby's milk to the price of fuel to open borders. Uh, Incidentally, if you one television commentator, he said, if you are in desperate shape for Infalac, let's call it, all you have to do is go down to Mexico, sneak across the border, and turn yourself over to the border guards and tell them that you need milk for, well, whatever. Well, I couldn't do that very well, but nonetheless, a woman could. And because there is milk formula. Let's call it formula. That's the correct word. Um, at the border for the people coming across the border illegally. There's milk for them, but there is no milk for the parents of the children, and the parents are scared, and they should be scared. And I think that we all should be cognitive of the areas of fear that have been dumped upon us, bestowed upon us. I mean, fear that you cannot feed your child, fear that if you don't wear a mask when you're out for a walk, I mean, stupid masks don't even work unless they're an N95. That's the type of mask that I used for my big belt sander in my cabinet shop. And I mean, 25 inches across, two drums. I mean, a big sander. Because those masks, and they don't work incidentally if you have a beard. I mean, they don't. And but a cloth mask wouldn't help at all. And the whole idea that we were told 6 feet spacing. But in truth, now the scientists are saying it's more like 40 feet. Well, that's a little inconvenient. I mean, it is a little stupid. But that's what you and I are subject to. I am an eternal optimist, okay? I really am. But I have always counted the cost when it looked like things were going to get physical, and 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 in my counting the cost, it didn't deter me from doing whatever I chose to do. But there are certain people in life you'd be well advised not to try to defend yourself too much, and I don't run, and but that's kind of where we're at here in terms of government impropriety being orchestrated upon us, removing whatever freedoms we have, and we still have some freedom. My neighbor, wonderful, I call him Jim Plumber. He is a plumber. That's not his last name. But Jim and I, we got along right perfectly well from the very first we met. And he said, Jim, how long have our freedoms been being curtailed, removed? And I said, at least back to the early 90s. It may go back into the 80s. But we are slow as a people. We're slow to recognize what is happening because we're so used to watching the BS on the news that we don't get a wider, broader view. And we say, well, you can't believe anyone anyways. Well, you really shouldn't believe anyone anyways. But that does not negate, remove the wisdom of paying attention on the off chance that you might see through that processed hay out the back end of a horse and understand that there are things going on around us that are out of our realm of influence. And I wished we had another 10 years. I'd run for a political provincial place. I would become a politician. I'd like to see if I have enough integrity and honor to bear up to the affront of stupid people and doing stupid things under the guise that they know better for you than you know for yourself. They know better for your children than you as a parent and or a grandparent. Well, grandparents really don't have much say in anything. They shouldn't. I mean, when I was quite young and my boys, they were coming of age, and I treated them like men. And when they turned 14, I gave each of them a 300 Weatherby Magnum, and we all shot the same caliber. That, when I would make shells, ammunition, I mean, I could do 50, and we could each take 10 or so in our pockets and have plenty. You don't shoot that much with that big a gun. Well, it would hurt your shoulder. But, I mean, deadly accurate, unbelievable. But anyways, here we are. As a grandparent, I love my grandkids, especially, oh, well, I can't say especially, all four of them, all grandsons, all pretty rugged, hard to believe, eh? But anyways, so you might pray for the Ukraine. Apparently, the Ukraine was a major supplier of wiring harnesses for all vehicles, and so there are very few other places in the world that manufacture wiring harnesses for our vehicles. And 5 months ago, when that factory was going down because of safety concerns that are valid, Joe Biden was out trying to save the world by finding batteries for electric cars. The thing to remember about a politician is this: they never let a good tragedy go to waste. They will further their political agenda on the back of anyone. It matters not who, what, where, when, why. I said for many years, I said, I do hope there's a special place in hell for child abusers. Well, right next to them, I'm pretty sure there would be a whole lot of politicians, some good politicians out there, but not the average politician. Not good at all. So, anyways, God bless. I hope you have enjoyed yourself the last week or so. I finally got my laptop back, and then I finally got her up and running and stuff like that. And I remade the black-haired warrior woman. Took it from an hour-long video down to a two-part. And now I just have to get someone to help me get it posted, because I don't know how to move it from one side of the file or whatever to another, and I just don't. I know how to make these things and get her done. God bless thee. Pray for each other. Take a long, hard look at little kids, because what they sometimes, not their fault, end up going through, it is illegal. It should be illegal. It should be prosecuted, what adults and older kids do to little kids. It's not right. Okay, God bless thee, and you have a good day. Thank you for watching. Gee whiz. Thank you for watching. Thank you. God bless.